Good morning everyone. Today we will go for the anatomy of the brain stem. Okay, it is a very important structure present in between the spinal cord and the brain. Okay, the brain stem is the distal part of the brain that is made up of midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Each of three components has its own unique structures and functions. They all together they help to regulate breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and several other functions. Okay. How the in the tree the stem is conveys the all the food particles or any needy particles from root to the tree or branches of the tree or leaf, like that. Same way from leaf to the stem and the roots. That same way the brain stem also it passes the some impulses, okay, or some pathways from peripheral to the center. Okay, the brain stem, it is a distal part of the brain that is made up of midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata respectively. Upwards it is midbrain, middle is pons, and lower end is medulla oblongata. And medulla oblongata is continuous with the spinal cord. Okay, and midbrain is covered by the thalamus and hypothalamus, like that. The each of three components has its own unique structures and functions. They all together they help to regulate breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. The one of the respiratory center is present in the is this brain stem. Okay, by that we can they have unique anatomy, and they are help in the for the respiratory system and blood pressure and several other important functions of the brain. Okay, and it is one of the main brainstem is houses for the cranial nerves and nuclei, and is a passageway for the many important neural pathways. This it is a brainstem. It is unique and it is made up of three different parts. One is medulla oblongata. It is continuous with the spinal cord, and this basilar portions of the medulla oblongata contains the pyramids, olives, and medulla tegmentum, all other structure. Okay, pons is present in the middle, and midbrain is present upwards, and midbrain is covered by the or covered how the cap, how you put the cap to the head, that same way the midbrain is covered by the thalamus and hypothalamus and the ventricles. And fourth ventricle and the foramen of Lusca and Magnidi intraventricular segments are present in the at the level of the in or just behind the medulla oblongata and the pons. Okay, can go for the next slide. These are the parts of the midbrain. Okay, this is the brainstem, this is the midbrain, this is the pons, and this is the medulla oblongata. All these three parts together and form the what brain stem, and medulla oblongata it is continuous with the spinal cord. Okay, these are the three main parts of the brain stem. Okay, you can see like this brain stem is present. Okay, this is the midbrain, middle one is pons, and this is the medulla oblongata, and just this is the cerebellum. Okay, like this midbrain is present. You can see in this. Okay, this is the cerebellum, this is the pons, this is the medulla oblongata, and this you can see this part is midbrain. Okay, and what you can see like this is a thalamus. Okay, this is like this is a thalamus. Okay, like that brainstem is present, and it is connection between the spinal cord and the cerebrum. Okay, it is in between the cerebrum and spinal cord. Okay, then what is it means by brainstem? Okay, the brainstem is a small but important part of the cranial system, okay, or nervous system, okay, that control the breathing, heart rate and blood pressure and more. Okay, it also give the origin to the some cranial nerves, or it is a houses for the cranial nerve. You can go for the next slide. Okay, you can see here, this is the medulla oblongata, this is the pons, and this is the midbrain, and this is a thalamus. Okay, this is a thalamus. You also say as a cerebrum as a telencephalon, cerebellum as a metencephalon, midbrain as a mesencephalon, and medulla oblongata as a myelencephalon. Okay, you can also say like this. You can go for the next slide. Okay, brain stem. Okay, brain stem, it is mainly made up of three parts. One is midbrain, okay, and pons and medulla oblongata. You can see here in this picture, MR means midbrain, okay, MB means midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata, and this is, you can say, this is a thalamus. Okay, thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, and location or site of the midbrain, it lies on the basilar part of the occipital bone. Parts are already said: midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Connection with the cerebellum. Each part of the brainstem is connected to the cerebellum by the cerebellar peduncle. Okay, then superior, middle and inferior. Okay, these are mainly 3 points of the connection with the cerebellum. Each part of the brainstem is connected to the cerebellum by cerebellar pedunculate. There are midbrain cerebellum pedunculate, pons cerebellum pedunculate and medulla oblongata cerebrum pedunculate. Okay, like that superior, middle and inferior 3 pedunculates are there of the cerebellum. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Okay, brainstem site, it is lies on the basilar part of the occipital bone. The midbrain is continuous rosterly with the dense cephalon of forebrain, means a thalamus. Okay, the pons is continuous rosterly with the midbrain and caudally with the medulla oblongata. Okay, the medulla is continuous caudally with the spinal cord at the margin of the foramina magnum. Okay, the structures, the main brainstem is kind of made up by the 3 main structures. One is midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. The brainstem is connects the rest of the brain to the spinal cord, which runs downwards your neck and back. It has 3 parts. One is midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Okay, and the consist of, it contain the mainly midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Superiorly continuous with the forebrain, inferiorly continuous with the spinal cord. Posteriorly pons and medulla oblongata is separated by the fourth ventricle. Fourth ventricle is present just below the or posterior to the pons and medulla oblongata. Okay, the midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata connected to cerebellum by superior, middle, inferior cerebellar pedunculate. Okay, respectively. Okay, these are the some views of the midbrain. This is a dorsal view, this is the lateral view, and this is the ventral view. In ventral view, by that we can easily see the what structures of the cranial nerve, origins or houses of the cranial nerve. Okay, in the lateral view it is look like this. Okay, this is the pons, this is the medulla oblongata, and this is the midbrain. This is the dorsal view. Okay, this is the midbrain, this is the pons, and this is the medulla oblongata. Here it is the fourth ventricle is present. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Okay, importance of the brainstem. Okay, first one, it is a pathway for tracks between the cerebral cortex and spinal cord. It is site of origin of nuclei of the cranial nerves. Okay, they from 3rd to 12th cranial nerve. The site of emergence of cranial nerves from 3 to 12. It contains the group of nuclei and related fibers known as reticular formation, responsible for the control of level of consciousness, perception of pain, regulation of cardiovascular and respiratory system. Okay, and it also maintain the blood pressure of the body. Okay, the brainstem. The brainstem includes the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Some texts include the dencephalon as the brainstem structure. Okay, but other includes the it in the forebrain. Okay, the brainstem act as the relay center connecting the cerebrum and cerebellum to the spinal cord and performs many of the bodies of automatic function. Okay, this is the dencephalon. You can say as a thalamus or hypothalamus, like that. Okay, and this is the midbrain, this is the pons, and this is the medulla oblongata. Okay, medulla oblongata. Okay, it lies between the pons and the spinal cord. It contains the center which control key autonomic body function, and it relays the nerve signals between the brain and spinal cord. Important control center includes the medulla oblongata. It has some important respiratory centers in that. One is respiratory center, cardiac center, vasomotor center, and reflex center. The respiratory center controls the rate, rhythm, and depth of the breathing. And cardiac center regulates the heart rate and what you can say contraction of the heart. And vasomotor center, it controls the blood pressure. And reflex center, okay, a reflex center are vomiting, coughing, sneezing, hiccup, and swallowing. Okay, medulla oblongata it mainly contains the some centers. Okay, important control of center in that. One is respiratory center, blood pressure means a cardiac vasomotor center, cardiac center means heart rate, and reflex center in that mainly vomiting, coughing, sneezing, hiccups, and swallowing. Can go for the next slide. Medulla oblongata, it connects pons with the spinal cord. It is conical in shape, medulla oblongata. The central canal in lower half continues as that of spinal cord, while the upper half expands as a cavity of the fourth ventricle. Okay, you can see this is the medulla oblongata, and how it will look inverted conical. See, this is the elevated part or broad part, and here it is narrow. Okay, it look like a conical in shape. Okay, and it is continuous with the spinal cord. And what you can say, this is the fourth ventricle. Okay, you can see this is the fourth ventricle, and this is the cerebellum. Okay, and this is the inferior pedunculate of the cerebellum. This is the middle pedunculate, and this is the upper or superior pedunculate of the cerebellum. Okay, you can now go for the medulla oblongata. Okay, medulla oblongata, it is in between this is the pons, and here below you can see the spinal cord. Medulla oblongata present in between the pons and medulla spinal cord. Okay, and it is what conical in shape. Okay, and it is present just above the fourth ventricle, and here only in medulla oblongata only the fourth ventricle is continuous as a central canal to and then spinal cord. Okay, medulla oblongata is the part of the brain stem between the pons and spinal cord. It extends through the foramina magnum to the level of the atlas bone. Medulla is the vital for function. Without medulla we die. Above the foramina magnum, it is the embarrassed dorsally by the cerebellum hemisphere. Okay, it is very important. Okay, if medulla oblongata is injured, most of the time patient die with the respiratory failure. That's why in the cervical cord injury, the patient maintain the cervical posture. That's why it is very important during the shifting the patient from one place to other place. The lower end of which contains the upward continuation of the central canal of the spinal cord is the closer part of the medulla. Okay, you can see this is the one part. This is the closer part of the medulla, and this is the open part of the medulla. Close part means here you can say closer part of the medulla. Here central canal is there. Here fourth ventricle is there, or fourth part of that. It is opened. Okay, that's why it is say as a open part of the medulla oblongata. And this is here it is a central canal. It will look like closer. That's why it is say as a closer part of the medulla oblongata. Okay, the lower end, the upper end where the canal comes to the surface as the lower part of the floor of the fourth ventricle. That's why is the open part of the medulla oblongata. You can go for the next slide. Okay, brain stem and ventricle surfaces. The medulla is the ventral median fissure. Okay, it's divided medulla in two halves. Okay, its lower part is marked by the decussation of pyramidal fibers, then pyramids. Okay, it lies on either side of the ventral median fissure, and it is an elevation produced by the corticospinal tract. Okay, and uli. Okay, I will show first the structure, then you can understand. Okay, this is the medulla oblongata, and this is the fissure. Okay, long longitudinal one fissure is there. This fissure is say as a ventral fissure, and these two elevations, okay, or elevated part, you can say as a pyramid. And just lateral to these are two in number, right and left. Just lateral to that you can say another one is groove like structure, another one elevation to the lateral side. That are say as a olis or oli fissures. Okay, like that. And pyramid and olival fissure. Okay, like that. This is medulla oblongata. It has the ventral surface. Okay, in there it has the ventral median fissure. Okay, it divides the medulla oblongata into two halves. Okay, and each side two lower part as marked by the decussions of the pyramid fibers. Pyramids, it is lies on either side of the ventral median fissures. I already showed. It is a elevation produced by the corticospinal tracts. Then you can medulla in that olive. Okay, it means it is just lateral to the pyramids. Okay, olive, it lies lateral to the pyramids and separated from it by the ventrolateral sulcus. I already shown here. You can see here, this is the pyramids and this is the olive, and here is one sulcus is there. That is sulcus is as a ventrolateral sulcus. Okay, and it is the elevation produced by the inferior oleonuclei. The nerves emerges from the medulla are four nerves. One is hypoglossal nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, and cranial part of the accessory nerve. These are the nerve are emerging from medulla. Okay, there are more four nerves are cranial nerves are houses in the medulla oblongata. One is 12, 11, 10, and 9. Ninth is glossopharyngeal, 10th is vagus, 11th is cranial part of accessory nerve and hypoglossal nerve. You can medulla ventral surface. I already said ventral median fissure. It is divide the medulla into two halves. Its lower part is masked by because of most of the pyramids corticospinal fibers. Pyramids, it lies on either side of the ventral median fissures. It is a elevation produced by the corticospinal tract. Olip, it lies lateral to the pyramids. It is a elevation produced by inferior olionuclei. The nerve emerges from the medullar forenerve, hypoglossal, glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory, and these are the glossopharyngeal and hypoglossal. These are the nerve. You can see here, these are present in between the pyramid, and this is the lateral sulcus. This is a sulcus or ventral surface sulcus. All are origin from the in between the pyramids and olip. Okay, you can see here very clearly in this. Okay, these are the cranial nerves. This is the hypoglossal nerve, this is the vagus nerve, this is the glossopharyngeal nerve, and this is the accessory cranial nerve. Okay, you can go for the next slide. And this easily you can make out. This is the medulla oblongata, this is the pons. Okay, this is the ventral fissure of the medulla oblongata, central ventral fissure of the medulla, and this is the elevations. These are say as a pyramids, and these under lateral elevations are say as a olives. Okay, and this is the in between the pyramid and sulcus, there is a one groove or sulcus is there, that is say as a anterolateral sulcus. Okay, and this groove is say as a posterolateral sulcus. Okay, this is the anterior median sulcus, or you can say as a fissure, ventral fissure of the medulla oblongata, central ventral fissure. This is the pyramid, this is the olive, and this is the origins of the or emerges of the cranial nerves. You can see here in between the pyramid and olive, there are cranial nerves are origin. Okay, this is the 10th nerve, vagus nerve. Then this is a you can say hypoglossal, accessory. Okay, and you can say 10th is a hypoglossal, glossopharyngeal. These are like that. Nerves are open. This is glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory cranial, and hypoglossal. Pons. Okay, just above the its pons is present in between the medulla oblongata and the midbrain. Okay, and it is laterally broad, and it is look like a bridge. Okay, pons literal means it's bridge. Okay, the wedging between the midbrain and medulla oblongata. Pons shows a convex anterior surface with prominent transversely running fibers. The transverse ponentine or pontocerebral fibers. You can see here, these are the fibers like that. Okay, so go for the next slide. Pons is an enlarged structure located just below the midbrain and just above the medulla oblongata, and the word pons is the Latin word for bridge and indicates the function of the pons. It acts as a railway station between the lower center and the higher center of the brain. The fifth through the and eighth cranial nerves connect to the directly into the pons. Okay, in between pons and medulla oblongata also some nerves are origin cranial nerves. Okay, you can show in the pons. You can see here, this is a pons. Okay, the pons is the anterior to the cerebellum and connects the medulla oblongata with the midbrain. It is 1 inch in center 1 inch in length. Anterior surface has basilar groove which lodges the basilar artery. Here you can see the groove. Here basilar artery is present or situated, and that gives the blood supply to the whole brain stem, and that is further continuous with the forms the Chinese circle. Okay. Or it has the it is continuous with the vertebral arteries, basilar artery. They connect to the cerebellum with a middle cerebral pedunculate. You can see here in this is the groove present center of the ventral part of the pons, and this here lodges the basilar artery. The length is 2.5 centimeter. It has the external features. It has the two surfaces. One is dorsal and ventral surfaces. Straighted transversely. These are ventral surface. Basilar sulcus or vertical sulcus lodges basilar artery. The dorsal surface forms the upper part of floor of the fourth ventricle. Okay, and laterally continuous with the middle cerebral pedunculate. You can see here. This is the cerebral pedunculate, middle cerebral pedunculate. Okay, and superior border it is a third and fourth nerves. Okay, you can see here in this. Okay, these are also cranial nerves, originate from the in between the pons and medulla oblongata. Inferior border with the 6th, 7th, 8th cranial nerve. The anterior surface of the pons. The pons has a convex anterior surface marked by the transversely running fibers which lateral from the bundle called middle cerebral pedunculate. The main features of the pons in that trigeminal nerve. Okay, they emerges from the anterior surface, and it is junction with the middle cerebral pedunculate. The presence of basilar sulcus in the middle which lodges the basilar artery. In the groove between the pons and medulla oblongata, there emerges from medial to lateral obstruent facial and vestibulocochlear nerve. You can see here in this is the trigeminal nerve. Okay, in that two parts are there. One motor root of trigeminal nerve and another one is sensory root of trigeminal nerve. This is the motor root of the trigeminal nerve, and this is the sensory root of the trigeminal nerve. The trigeminal nerve is completely originate or emerges in the pons, and this is the groove present in the pons. Here the basilar artery is lodges. Okay, you can see here in this, and these are the nerves emerges in between the this is the pons and this is the medulla oblongata, and these are the nerve. This is the obstruent nerve. This is the root of the facial nerve. This is the vestibulocochlear nerve. Okay, and pons ventral surface, it is already discussed. Basilar sulcus divided into pons into two halves. It is occupied the basilar artery, and transverse portion it has some fibers, that is a pontocerebral fibers, the originate from the pontinate nuclei. Okay, you can go for the next slide, and now you can go for the dorsal surface. The dorsal separated, it is separates from the mainly by the ventricle. Okay, that is fourth ventricle. Okay, it separates from the medulla by the imaging the line passing between the caudal margin of the middle and cerebellar pedunculate. On the either side of sulcus divide into the area into two parts, from medial to lateral. The medial eminences overlies the obstruent nuclei, and vestibular area overlies the vestibular nuclei. We can go for the next slide. Now blood supply of the, okay, you can see here in this, okay, origin of the nerves. This is the trigeminal, this is the motor, and this is the sensory. Okay, this is the vestibulocochlear nerve, this is the facial nerve, and this is the obstruent nerve. Okay, and this is the pons, and this is the medulla oblongata, and this is the midbrain. Okay, this you can see in between the pyramid and uli, this is a hypoglossal nerve. Then this is a accessory nerve in the second group, lateral posterior group, and this is the vagus nerve, and this is a glossopharyngeal nerve. Another one thing, okay, and this is a completely sensory, and this is a mixed type sensory and motor, and this is completely motor. Okay, can go for the next slide. Then blood supply to the pons. The arterial supply, the potent branch of the basilar artery, you can see here, this is the basilar artery, and it is a continuous with the by the vertebral arteries, is continuous with the basilar artery. Basilar artery further continues with the posterior cerebral artery and posterior communicating artery, like that. Okay, and is superior cerebral artery, anterior inferior cerebral artery. Okay, and venous supply is mainly basilar venous plexus and inferior petrosal sinuses. The supply, the drain blood supply of the pons. Now we can go for the midbrain. The midbrain is also say as a mesencephalon. Is located between the dencephalon and the pons. Okay, it is also act as a relay station between the lower center and the higher center of the brain, but is also contain the important visual and auditory reflex centers, as well as the motor pathway that connects the cerebrum to the cerebellum. You can see here, this is the midbrain, and this is the pons, and this is the thalamus. Okay, thalamus and hypothalamus, and this is say as a mesencephalon, and this is present in between the mesencephalon, or you can say the dencephalon. Okay, and this is present between the dencephalon and the pons, and it is midbrain is mainly contains the two important centers. One is the visual center, optic chiasma and optic nerve radiation, everything present in here, and auditory reflex center. Sorry. Okay, we can go for the next slide. The dencephalon. Okay, you can see now already told this is the dencephalon. It is also said as a thalamus or hypothalamus. The dencephalon lies at the top of the brain stem. Okay, under and between the cerebral hemispheres, and includes the thalamus and hypothalamus, optic tract, optic chiasma, infundibulum, third ventricle, mammillary bodies, posterior pituitary gland, and pineal gland. This is a pineal gland, this is a pituitary, this is the thalamus, and this is the hypothalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, and here you can see as a third ventricle. Okay, and here you can see, here it will come the or connection between the fourth ventricle and third ventricle. You can go for the next slide, and this is the, you can say this is the midbrain, third ventricle, and this is the fourth ventricle, and here is the central canal here. You can go for the next slide. Midbrain is connects the pons and cerebellum with the forebrain. It is about 0.8 inch in length. Midbrain is travels by the narrow channels called as the cerebral adequate filled with CSF. Okay, anterior surface. Okay, the midbrain anterior, it presents two large bundles of fibers, one on each side of the midline. Is called crus cerebri. You can see these are the crus cerebri. The oculomotor nerve. Okay, this is the oculomotor nerve, emerges from the medial aspect of the crus of the same side. The crus cerebri bounded and interpedunculated fossa on the each side. Okay, these are the two bundles of large fibers. These you can see here. These are bundles of large fibers is as a crus cerebri of the midbrain. Okay, and these are present in the anterior. You can see midbrain here the optic chiasma or optic nerve. This is the optic chiasma, and this is the optic nerve. Okay, like that. and the optic tract like that it was found. And this is a floor of the hypothalamus. This is a floor of the hypothalamus, and this is the infundibulum or pituitary remote here from here. Okay, and this is a thalamus. Okay, this is the thalamus. Thalamus, hypothalamus, midbrain. Posterior surface, it has the midbrain. Posteriorly, the midbrain present 4 rounded swellings. You can see these are the 4 rounded swellings. Okay, these are say as a colliculi, one superior and one inferior. Each colliculi is laterally related to the ridge called the brachium. Okay, and superior and inferior brachium arise from the respective colliculi. The superior brachium connects the superior colliculus to lateral geniculate body. The inferior brachiculum connects the inferior colliculus of the medial geniculate body. In the midline below the inferior colliculum, the trochlear nerve emerges, which then wind round the side of the midbrain to reach the ventral aspect. You can see here the trochlear nerve emerges. The structures of the midbrain, there are midbrain composed of the 2 lateral halves is called as a cerebral pedunculate. In that there superior cerebral pedunculate, which again is divided into 2 parts, anterior part and posterior part. Anterior part is as a crus cerebri and posterior part is as a tegmentum. By the pigmented band of grey matter is as a substantia nigra. The central narrow cavity is called as cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Schlievus, which connects the 3rd and 4th ventricle. The tectum is the part of the midbrain posterior to the cerebral aqueduct. It has 4 small surface swellings, refers to the previously there are 2 superior and 2 inferior colliculi. Now blood supply to the midbrain. The artery, there are posterior cerebral artery and superior cerebral artery and basilar artery. This is the basilar artery. This is the basilar artery, anterior, posterior cerebral artery and superior cerebral artery, drains by the basal and great cerebral veins. You can see here, this is the superior cerebral artery and this is the posterior cerebral artery. Cerebral arterial supply, it is mainly by the circle of villi. This is very important. Okay, circle of villi. The whole brain, most of the brain or base of the brain, okay, is supplied by the mainly by the whole cerebellum or any brain is supplied by the cerebral artery, that mainly by the circle of villi. It is very important. Okay, the artery of cerebral circulation is divided into anterior, posterior and cerebral circulation. The anterior, I have briefly told about the circulations, not go for the details. Okay, the anterior and posterior cerebral circulations are interconnected via the bilateral posterior communication artery. The posterior communicated arteries are part of circle of villi, located on the base of the brain, and it encircles the optic chiasma, hypothalamus and midbrain. The cerebral artery supplies is provided by 2 systems. One is carotid system, another one is vertebrobasilar system. The supply anterior posterior portion of the brain and supply posterior portion of the brain. In this I only explain the circle of villi. Further whole blood supply is explained in the artery supply or blood supply of the brain. I will take another one class on this. Only in this I will explain the circle of villi. Circle of villi is formed by mainly by the 2 anterior cerebral artery. You can see these are the 2 anterior cerebral artery, 2 internal carotid artery, and this is the 2 internal carotid artery, 2 posterior cerebral artery, okay, 2 posterior communicating arteries and 1 anterior communicating artery. Okay, like this cerebral artery will form. This is the anterior communicating artery and this is the posterior communicating artery. It gives the numerous small vessels that braid the surface of the brain and form arteries. They are divided into anterior perforating arteries and posterior perforating arteries. In this you can easily know how the circle of villi is formed. This one is say as a from here to here, it is say as a circle of villi. This is the anterior cerebral artery. This is the internal carotid artery. 2 anterior cerebral arteries, 2 internal carotid artery, 2 posterior communicating arteries. Okay, this is the internal carotid artery. Okay, and this whole thing you can see as a circle of villi. And this is the posterior cerebral artery. This is the posterior communicating artery. Okay, and this is the anterior communicating artery. And this is the internal carotid artery. And this is the middle cerebral artery. Okay, this is the middle cerebral artery. This is whole thing. This much is say the circle of villi. And this is the basilar artery. It is continuous from the internal vertebral arteries. These are the vertebral arteries. Okay, this is the circle of villi. If anything bleeding start from here, it is nothing will serve. Whole cerebrum will become ischemic, or any clot in this circle of villi, the patient have suffered from the ischemia or infraction, very badly infraction by this. This is very important anatomical space present base of the skull. This is circle of villi. It is formed by the 2 anterior cerebral artery, 2 internal carotid artery, 2 posterior communicating artery, 2 posterior cerebral artery, 1 anterior communicating artery. Okay, like this. This is this, like the circle of villi is formed. Major arteries of the body, that is circle of villi. Common carotid artery, the right internal carotid, left internal carotid, right posterior communicating, left posterior communicating, gives a branch of the internal carotid artery just before it divided into the terminal branches. Right anterior cerebral artery, left anterior cerebral artery, that forms the anterolateral portion of the circle of villi. Right middle cerebral artery and left middle cerebral artery does not contribute to the circle of villi. Okay, like this you can circle of villi is formed. This is the anterior cerebral artery. This is the anterior communicating artery. Okay, and this is the carotid artery. Okay, and left middle cerebral artery, like here will come. And this is the posterior communicating artery, and this is the posterior cerebral artery, and this is the anterior communicating artery, and this is the circulus of the arterioles, and this is the basilar artery. Okay, and these are the vertebral arteries, like that. Okay, this much is sufficient. I will explain the circle of villi. Next class I will go for the anatomy of the blood supply of the cerebrum. Okay, thank you very much.